The series opens by plunging us into the gritty underbelly of Gotham, following the chaos of the Batman. With Carmine Falcone dead, his son Alberto assumes control of the crime syndicate, but immediately clashes with Oswald Cobblepot, aka Oz. The tension reaches a boiling point when Oz impulsively kills Alberto in a moment of fury after being mocked, a rash act that sets the tone for Oz's rise to power. Oz recruits Victor, a young thief he catches attempting to rob his distinctive plum-colored Maserati. Despite Victor's hesitation, Oz forces him to assist in disposing of Alberto's body, shoving it into the trunk of an abandoned car in a junkyard. This scene not only highlights Oz's ruthlessness, but also hints at his need for companionship as he spares Victor's life. Meanwhile, the city's power dynamics shift as Sofia Falcone, Alberto's sister, returns from Arkham Asylum. Her arrival adds another layer of danger and intrigue. Suspecting Oz's involvement in her brother's disappearance, she subjects him to a brutal interrogation, tying him up and threatening him with razor wire. However, Oz's cunning shines through as he orchestrates a distraction using Victor, planting evidence to shift suspicion toward Carmine's rival, Salvatore Maroni. Throughout the episode, Oz's duality as a character becomes evident. He is calculating and brutal, yet driven by a deep-seated desire for respect and control. Scenes with his mother, Frances, reveal the emotional scars Oz carries from years of mockery and perceived weakness. Despite her declining mental state, Frances encourages him to seize the opportunity to consolidate power. Adding to the complexity is Gotham's backdrop, still reeling from the Riddler's destruction of the seawall. This volatile environment is fertile ground for Oz's ambitions. His drug operations and underworld dealings show a man adept at navigating chaos, while his encounters with Sofia set the stage for a collision of wills. The first episode paints a vivid picture of Oz's character, a man underestimated by many, but possessing the intelligence and ruthlessness to emerge as a major player in Gotham's criminal underworld. In the Penguin episode 2, titled Inside Man, the plot thickens as Oswald "Oz" Cobblepot continues to manipulate the inner workings of Gotham's criminal underworld, while Sofia Falcone begins to realize the depth of betrayal within her own family. The episode dives deeper into their twisted alliance and explores the fallout from the previous events. The story opens with Sofia, who's recently been released from Arkham Asylum, navigating a web of lies and power struggles. She's been trying to rebuild her family's empire, but is quickly realizing that betrayal lurks everywhere. As she suspects a mole in the Falcone organization, she enlists a former detective, Marcus Wise, to investigate. Meanwhile, Oz attempts to consolidate his power, using his relationship with Sofia to further his agenda. Oz's initial plan to frame Johnny Vitti as the traitor falls apart when Victor, his associate, fails to plant diamonds in Vitti's car. In a desperate move, Oz kills Irvad, a Maroni member, who was set to reveal critical information. He then frames Castillo, Sofia's most trusted bodyguard, for the murder. This leads to a tense confrontation, where Luca, Sofia's uncle, shoots Castillo, and Oz takes advantage of the chaos to solidify his position. Meanwhile, Sofia, who has been grappling with her mental health in the aftermath of her brother Alberto's murder, begins to question her place in the family. Despite Oz's manipulation, she reluctantly agrees to an alliance with him, seeing him as her only option to regain control of the Falcone legacy. This uneasy partnership sets the stage for future power struggles, and Sofia's eventual realization that Oz is the one who killed her brother could lead to explosive consequences. This episode intensifies the already volatile atmosphere, setting up multiple narrative threads for future episodes. With Sofia's growing resentment and Oz's growing ruthlessness, the tension is palpable, and it's clear that their temporary alliance is built on unstable ground. In the Penguin episode 3, titled Bliss, the narrative delves deeper into the motivations of key characters, especially Victor and Sofia, and their respective struggles with the gritty world of Gotham. Victor's past trauma plays a significant role in shaping his actions. The episode opens with a flashback to before the city's flooding, showing a moment of happiness when Victor and his girlfriend Graciela watch the fireworks, only to be suddenly thrust into chaos as Gotham is ravaged by explosions. This traumatic event, which results in the loss of his family, lingers in Victor's mind. When Graciela asks him to leave Gotham with her, Victor faces a tough decision. He knows that leaving Oz, who has a hold over him, could cost him his life. However, he also feels compelled to escape the city, realizing he has nothing left in it. His inner turmoil culminates in a decision that will shape his future. In a twist of fate, after initially planning to leave, Victor ultimately returns to Oz's side, realizing that he shares a certain ruthlessness with him. Meanwhile, Oz and Sophia are advancing their new drug venture. Sophia reveals that the potent drug known as Bliss was her creation, not Alberto's as originally thought. The drug, which she developed while incarcerated at Arkham Asylum, is a powerful stimulant derived from a rare mushroom strain. This drug, having been used on Sophia during her time in Arkham to keep her subdued, now serves as her ticket to power. Oz and Sophia work together to secure a distribution deal with the Triad. They blackmail Johnny Vitti, leveraging his affair with Luca Falcone's wife, to gain the Triad's support. Their plan, however, is complicated by past betrayals. Sophia learns that Oz had played a role in sending her to Arkham, betraying her trust by informing her father, Carmine Falcone, of her activities. While this truth stings, Sophia, already familiar with the betrayal, chooses to continue working with Oz. The cinemaholic, their meeting with the Triad goes smoothly, but things take a dangerous turn when Nadia Moroni confronts Oz, wary of his newfound alliance with Sophia. This sets the stage for a violent encounter with the Moronis, in which Victor, having returned to Oz's side, intervenes, killing one of the Moroni men. However, Oz, ever the opportunist, abandons Sophia to her fate, showing his true priorities. Sophia, left vulnerable, is now positioned to take her own stand. This episode builds on the shifting dynamics of power in Gotham, exploring betrayal, survival, and the complex relationships between characters who are all seeking control in a city teetering on the edge of chaos. Episode 4 of The Penguin delves deeper into Sophia Falcone's backstory and her journey from being a hopeful heir to the Falcone Empire to a tortured soul trapped in Arkham. The episode begins with a tense confrontation between Oz and Nadia Moroni, where it is revealed that Oz betrayed Sophia and murdered her brother Alberto. This betrayal sends Sophia spiraling, and her mental state begins to unravel. The episode takes us into a series of flashbacks, revealing Sophia's close relationship with her father, Carmine Falcone, and the foundation she ran in her mother Isabella's memory. While Sophia once believed her mother's suicide was a result of depression, she begins to suspect her father was involved in her mother's death. This suspicion grows when a journalist from the Gotham Gazette uncovers a disturbing pattern in the deaths of women connected to Carmine's business, all of whom died by hanging, a manner of death eerily similar to Sophia's mother's. Sophia's trust in Oz proves to be misplaced as he betrays her by informing Carmine about her investigation. As a result, Carmine frames her for the murders and orchestrates her arrest. Sophia is sent to Arkham Asylum, where she is subjected to physical and psychological abuse. The episode shows how this experience breaks her, transforming her into the cold, calculating hangman persona that Gotham knows. Eventually, Sophia emerges from Arkham, more determined than ever. She confronts her betrayers within the Falcone family and makes a shocking decision that will reshape the family dynamics. Her revenge is swift and brutal, as she poisons everyone in the family except for Johnny Vitti, who survives due to sheer luck. The episode ends with Sophia taking control, signaling that she is now ready to lead the Falcone family on her own terms. In The Penguin Episode 5, titled Homecoming, several key events unfold, marking a pivotal moment for both the protagonist, Oswald Cobblepot, Penguin, and Sophia Gigante, who is making her mark as Gotham's newest crime lord. The episode opens with Sophia fully embracing her new identity after the tragic demise of her entire family. She announces her break from the Falcones and establishes the Gigante family, underlining her fierce determination by murdering Johnny Vitti, her uncle, when he questions her leadership. This dramatic shift in power dynamics is crucial as it signals Sophia's rise and her willingness to assert dominance over anyone who challenges her vision. Sophia then moves forward by making an unlikely alliance with Salvatore Moroni, one of Carmine Falcone's biggest rivals. Despite their long-standing feud, Sophia sees Maroni as a crucial ally in taking down Oswald Cobblepot. By appealing to Maroni's shared grudge against Penguin, she sets the stage for a potential war over Gotham's criminal underworld. Knowing that their combined forces might be the only way to dismantle Oz's influence. On the other side of Gotham, Oz is struggling to maintain control after Sophia's betrayal. He and his loyal ally, Victor, seek refuge in abandoned underground tunnels. These tunnels, once part of his family's old territory, are now repurposed for Oz's underground operations. Oz reveals to Victor that they will use the dark, humid environment to grow mushrooms, a nod to his role in Gotham's drug trade, specifically with the addictive substance Bliss. As they settle into this new base of operations, it's clear that Oz is preparing for a power struggle with Sophia and Maroni, knowing that he needs to strengthen his position. The episode ends on a cliffhanger, with the tension between the Gigante and Cobblepot factions growing ever more palpable, setting up a showdown that promises high stakes in a fierce battle for control of Gotham B-Bomb. In episode 6 of The Penguin, the plot deepens with intense shifts in power and personal alliances. Sophia and Sal have joined forces to plot their revenge against Oswald, who has betrayed them. In a tense dinner conversation, they brainstorm strategies to undermine him. Their response is brutal. They begin targeting the lower-tier gang members working for Oz, hanging them in the streets as a show of force to instill fear. This act proves effective as it disrupts Oz's operations by making the smaller gangs fearful of working with him. This is part of Oz's wider plan to rally the smaller gangs of Gotham and create an uprising against the bigger crime families. But it backfires, and now he must find a way to regain control. B-Bomb. Meanwhile, Oz tries a more unconventional approach by giving away his drug, Bliss, for free. His goal is to spread it throughout the city to increase demand and cause friction between the smaller local bosses. By manipulating them through fear and chaos, Oz aims to solidify his power base. The episode also delves deeper into personal dynamics. Sophia confronts Eve in an intense standoff, initially intending to use Eve as a pawn in her battle against Oz. However, Eve reveals a darker truth. Oz was complicit in covering up the murder of Sophia's family members, which complicates her feelings. Despite their animosity, Sophia and Eve part ways with a grudging understanding of each other's vulnerabilities. B-Bomb. Meanwhile, Vic, a character who has struggled with moral dilemmas, reaches a turning point when he is forced to kill Squid, a former associate. This moment symbolizes a loss of innocence and the hardening of Vic's character, setting him on a path that will likely involve more violence and moral compromise as the series progresses. This episode is pivotal in establishing new power structures in Gotham, highlighting the escalating tensions between characters like Sophia, Sal, and Oswald, while also exploring themes of betrayal, loyalty, and survival. In The Penguin episode 7, titled Top Hat, we witness a dark and shocking flashback from Oswald Cobblepot's Oz childhood. The episode takes us to a moment when Oz and his brothers, Jack and Benny, were children. Their mother, Frances, had sent them to deliver money to a gangster named Rex Calabrese. When a storm hit, they sought shelter in Gotham's tunnels, but a disturbing event unfolded. Oz, frustrated by his leg brace and unable to keep up with his brothers, locked them inside a drainage tank while they played hide-and-seek. Though he could hear their cries for help as the water started flooding the tunnel, Oz chose to ignore them and left. His brothers, trapped, drowned, and Oz returned home, lying to his mother about their whereabouts. This act of inaction reflects a deeper darkness within Oz, showing his need for his mother's undivided attention, which was easier to gain after Jack and Benny were gone. In the present day, Oz is in turmoil as Sophia Gigante has taken his mother hostage. Meanwhile, he faces escalating threats from Salvatore Maroni, who attacks him in an attempt to take over his criminal operations. During their confrontation, Maroni suffers a heart attack, and Oz claims victory over him, even taking Maroni's ring as a trophy. However, Sophia retaliates by sending a car bomb to destroy Oz's operation, revealing her ruthless nature and intentions to dismantle Oz entirely. The episode concludes with Oz seeking refuge in the same tunnels where he abandoned his brothers, symbolically confronting his dark past. He survives an explosion set by Sophia and is later knocked unconscious by Detective Marcus Wise, who delivers him to Sophia, setting up the final showdown. This episode is pivotal in revealing Oz's disturbing past and the escalating battle for control in Gotham's criminal underworld. In the Penguin finale, Episode 8, the tensions culminate in a brutal power struggle between Oz and Sophia. The episode opens with a flashback to Frances's decision to end the life of her son, setting the stage for the bloody conflict to come. As the finale unfolds, Oz takes a ruthless step toward consolidating power, killing Victor, despite their close bond. This shocking death cements Oz's dangerous approach to leadership, emphasizing his desire for control at any cost. In the final moments, Oz is seen at the top of Gotham's criminal empire, having outsmarted his rivals, including Sophia, who ends up in a hospital bed, while the bat signal ominously lights up the sky. Fandom Wire.